Today we're going to talk about the most beautiful port city in the world. It is frequently hailed as the new Barcelona, and its attractions are generally far less crowded with tourists and much more reasonably priced while sharing the same gleaming Mediterranean shores. Even while classy museums and eateries keep springing up, the city has managed to retain the distinctive edge that sets it apart from other European cities. You'll never run out of things to do here because the city is filled with cutting-edge art galleries, chic museums, and well-preserved gardens, in addition to ancient marketplaces, amazing food, and a ton of wonderful outdoor attractions. This city has a strong sense of who it is. So, let's have a look at the top 5 things that you can do in Marseille, the most beautiful port city in the world. Number 5. Roam around Vieux-Port. According to folklore, this is where Marseille's history began, and it is surely a place that has a bit of everything. The Old Port is the oldest part of the city and has long been the beating center of the Phoenician city. It is now one of Marseille's most famous locations. All residents and visitors of Marseille naturally gravitate there. Between the bustle of the city center and the fish market, this is where you can experience the atmosphere of Marseille. Marseille's bars show the game while the OM soccer club is in action, and supporters gather in the Old Port to celebrate wins. If you want to travel to Marseille, start in the Vieux-Port. Another interesting fact about the port is the flavorful fish stew bouillabaisse that originated in the Vieux-Port. Unfit for sale leftover fish was brought home by local fishermen. As demand for the dish increased, local restaurateurs created the bouillabaisse charter to safeguard its originality. The dish has to include rascasse, a bony rockfish, as well as 3 other kinds of fish, in addition to a special blend of Provençal herbs. So while you're here, don't forget to try it out. The Old Port is evolving as the city's social and cultural center after losing its primary economic element. The traditional fish market and fishing boats preserve the impression of a city facing the sea. The river is a great spot to wander because there are cafes and eateries on both sides of it. Number 4. Marvel at Basilique Notre-Dame de la Garde. 157 meters high with over 800 years of pilgrimage, a breathtaking view of the entire Phoenician metropolis, and the emblem of an entire city, Notre-Dame de la Garde is a monument you won't stop marveling at. The church was constructed atop Marseille's highest peak, which was once the site of an old fort. After 21 years of work, the basilica's construction was finally completed. The church mixes several architectural forms. For instance, the crypt is constructed in the Romanesque style, and the top portion of the church is constructed in the Neo-Byzantine style. The church's centerpiece is a bell tower with a golden figure of the Virgin Mary made of copper and coated in gold leaf. The basilica naturally appears wonderful and quite divine even from below due to its placement. Beyond the fact that this location is important to the residents of Marseille, Notre-Dame de la Garde provides an unparalleled escape from the noises. The walk here enables you to refresh your batteries and fills you with good vibes on a weekend or a day off. And the breathtaking panorama it provides makes the journey worthwhile. Number 3. Admire the natural beauty at Calanque National Park. Calanque is the one thing about Marseille that unites everyone. The natural splendor of this French city continues to astound even its harshest skeptics. Everyone seems to be envious of the lavish scenery framed by the Azure Sea. The southern and eastern suburbs of Marseille border a region of extraordinary natural beauty. The Calanques are a group of rugged white limestone cliffs and rivers that rise to enormous heights and drop abruptly to the ocean. These rocky beauties are accessible by both land and water. A terrestrial and marine natural wonder, it welcomes numerous people in quest of compelling encounters with nature throughout the year. The alternatives are endless, extremely different from the typical triad of towel beach and parasol, and vary from trekking along the high crags to aquatic and subaquatic sports in one of the most abundant underwater canyons in the Mediterranean. If you plan to trek it, you'll need to have a strong sense of adventure because the GR98 from Marseille to Cassis takes about 11 hours and takes you through some difficult terrain. Of course, the view compensates for the effort. Additionally, mini cruises and kayaking excursions with guides leave from the Old Port. Get your shoes on and prepare to be amazed. Number 2. La Corniche. This breathtaking coastal promenade winds from Marseille's downtown to the Prado beaches, passing monuments and scenic views on the way. It can be driven or walked along. La Corniche is one of the most beautiful sights in the world. After President Kennedy's assassination, this 3-kilometer section was formally dedicated in honor of him, highlighting the close ties between France and the United States. Although the road was initially constructed in the 1860s, it was restored in the 1960s and is now used as both a transit between prominent tourist destinations in Marseille and a standalone attraction. Different areas of interest, including the Door of the Orient, the Valley of the Oaf, and the Bridge of Fake Coins, all represent centuries of history and culture. Joggers enjoy running by the water, and the road has a cycling lane as well. Stone-long benches can be discovered along the path for those who yearn for a picnic in front of the breathtaking sea. There are occasionally stairs that one can descend to get a closer look at the water. 30 to 45 minutes are sufficient for a stroll along this picturesque waterfront avenue. Bring a camera when you go to La Corniche so you may record some of the best views of the city that you can get. Number 1. Visit the historical hub, Museum. Spending some time at Museum is one of the best things to do in Marseille, no matter what your interests are. It may not sound like much, but the Museum of Civilizations of Europe and the Mediterranean is a cutting-edge art gallery with a wide variety of exhibits. The museum's displays are incredibly broad and intriguing, ranging from one-of-a-kind artwork, exquisite photography, and authentic relics to enlightening movies, interactive exhibits, and serious questions. It looks at the history of Mediterranean civilizations and offers a perceptive look at how they evolved into what they are today. The museum occupies these complete buildings and offers guests the treat of small films or talks in addition to exhibitions to assist them in better understanding Mediterranean culture. This eclectic museum's numerous subjects include gods, spices, routes of travel, and gardens. The Museum's small footbridge is one of its most striking features. It connects the museum to the classic Fort Saint-Jean like a pencil line, bridging the museum's sleek modernism with the fort's timeless grandeur high above the river. More exhibition spaces and a second bridge connecting the complex to the rest of the city are available to tourists at the fort. This promenade connects the city's higher-lying area to the waterfront. Depending on the time of day and the weather, the museum changes color. This is especially apparent on bright days when the quirky designs of the facade exhibit a magnificent interplay between light and shadow. Being a walkable city, Marseille has plenty of scenic routes to offer. So, when are you riding up here? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, where to next?